Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. We're gonna do a quick live stream, I promise.
Yeah, yeah, it's quick this time.
It is quick. We're actually on a time schedule tonight. We have a time schedule
because I want to watch Iron Fist.
Yeah, we're gonna watch.
I've heard Iron Fist season 2 is the less whiny bitch version of Iron Fist, and I very much want to see this.
The less whiny bitch version of Iron Fist. Okay, this is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hey.
We're gonna talk about a couple of things tonight quickly. Again, we only have about half an hour to talk. So first thing we're going to talk about, we set up a Discord. We've had so many people ask us to set up a Discord that we went ahead and did that. And
well, you did that. I just said okay.
I went ahead and did that, and she said okay.
That's right.
And we're going to see how it goes, because really I'm terrible at email. People have been trying to send us messages through Facebook. I'm terrible at that too.
Oh, he is.
And Twitter, I hate.
Many a friend he's not kept in touch with, and then they're like, Neon's a dick, because he never answers. He never keeps in touch with me.
It's not intentional. I just get very, very busy. And
heck, I don't see him all day, and I get lonely and sad.
I'm sorry.
It's true.
We're gonna watch Iron Fist together tonight, and hopefully you won't be lonely, but we might be sad if it sucks.
Yeah, hopefully it won't. I'm hearing
so
it's
the
a
first
less
season was
bitch
pretty
version,
boring. The first season was pretty boring.
So everybody.
Hello everybody coming in. So yeah, we have a Discord server set up. If you guys want to do Discord, this will probably be the best way to try to get a hold of us. Like I said,
mostly.
Well, I don't talk on Twitter very much anymore because I hate Twitter. So
yeah, Twitter's just
Twitter is garbage.
Well, everybody blocked you anyway. So.
Everybody blocked me from Twitter.
Whether you've done anything or not, you're blocked.
Oh my god!
With the block list that don't actually exist, but they flat out mention them. But you know, whatever.
Yeah. So, are you gonna put your Discord? Are you gonna put your Discord in the description? I did. It's actually in, and I'm gonna link to it again. So I think we're gonna do that for most of the videos from now on. Yeah, Twitter's garbage. Like, I don't even...
It just makes me sad to
I hate
there.
Twitter. It used to be such a nice neighborhood. We've talked about this before, but just more and more people, for various reasons, I think, are leaving. I think they're tired of the echo chamber. I think it's just...
I was going to say, I think it's funny. We're going to block people who didn't do anything to us, but because they might possibly do something to us because they know somebody who did something to us. And then they get these echo chambers and they're like, see, everybody agrees with what I'm saying. And it's like, yeah, because you blocked everybody who disagree with you. And it's like, of course they're all agreeing with what you're saying. And they think you guys all can't see it because you're blocked.
Yeah, I love how everybody on Twitter just talks about, they talk amongst themselves publicly. Like, that's like, you know, supervillains planning, you know, some devious shenanigans and like broadcasting it all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like leaving the video camera running or leaving the speakerphone on or something. Like, dudes, if you're going to do mean things to people, keep it private.
Well, they're like, nah, it's all mean something. Yes, like... the link is permanent. The description link was permanent. He made sure. So. I watched him do it. He made sure. But yeah, I'm seeing these people who are the ones that are the biggest mouths going on about stuff and then saying like, see, everybody agrees with me, as they blocked anybody who would disagree with them. So the only people that are talking to them are people who agree with them. And I'm just like, you know, call me crazy, but I very rarely block people. I very rarely unfollow people. And the only time I unfollow people is they give me a good reason to unfollow me, or they unfollowed me first. Yeah. Like, we have one person in particular who unfollowed both of us, who's been a quote-unquote friend for years. And when I refer to the person who always takes anything as negativity, even when it's not negativity, I was referring to that person. Yeah, we've had people, you know, unfollow us for no good reason, really. I mean, we've short of following the wrong people. Yeah. You know, which they disapproved of. So because we followed the wrong people, whether, you know, knowingly or unknowingly or whatever the deal is, I'm not sure what the criteria is, but yeah, it's nuts. And this is basically a bunch of people who I don't think they actually believe most of it. I think they just they're doing it because they don't want to be excluded from. Well, I just think it's funny because you'll say so and so block people, and I'm like, who? Who? I don't even know
yeah, I have no idea. And there are all these people like, you know, pumping their fists in the air, and I'm like, speaking of who? Okay, so we're gonna talk. What's Twitter? Well, we have Real Clownfish TV on Twitter, and I'm at Neon, and well, Geeky doesn't have a Twitter for Geeky yet, but she's at hers. You can find hers. Yes. Hit me up. We'll find it. So okay. Anyway. we're going to talk, speaking of people freaking out and who the hell is this person, saw this. This has been going around Twitter. I think actually Ethan Van Sciver posted it. So, about these Comicsgate guys.
Of course, it's in the opinion section.
Of course, it's in the opinion section.
When you told me it was the Guardian, I'm like, aren't they kind of the Inquirer anymore?
Yeah, pretty much. The Guardian's not. This is coming from the Guardian. And again, this is like the daily hit piece against the Comicsgate guys. You know, disclaimer, we did not consider ourselves Comicsgate. We did work in the comic book industry for years. We kind of
stick in the middle.
We kind of just walked away from comics because it was a dumpster fire.
Here's the thing. I mean, what we agree with is we agree with the fact that things are getting too political and it's taking the fun out of comics because people want to escape. They don't want to be preached at. And we agree with the whole idea that you shouldn't be. That's just stupid to be mean to customers. That's just colossally dumb.
The comics can't afford.
If the customers are being dicks, I can understand it.
If someone's actually being a dick,
but then you block that dick. You don't have to block everyone just because they might be friends of a dick. You know, I'm just saying.
That is a lot of cock blocking.
I know, right? That's not what cock blocking means, but okay.
I'm just okay. Anyway, so this article, this has been going around. So for those who are still confused as hell, what the heck is Comicsgate?
I don't even really know anymore. It's kind of like the catch-all for everything they don't like.
Pretty much. Comicsgate originally started out as a very vocal minority of conservative comic book fans who were fed up with the way the comic book industry was going. They were posting critiques of comic books on YouTube. It kind of blew up, and now it's sort of morphed into a handful of creators breaking away from comic book publishers and going out and doing their own thing. Where I see the Comicsgate situation right now, I don't even think it's political anymore. I think this is the comic book industry literally freaking the fuck out. Because if it were really just a political thing, I think they would be like, okay, well, these guys want to go make their own little indie comics, whatever. Just leave them alone.
Let them do what they want to do.
They want to go make comics for Nazis. Leave them alone. They can go. That's fine.
Until you make a lot of money, and then it hurts them. And that's when they start being like, oh, shit. You know, now we got to do something. It's just, you know...
Yeah, so what's going on now? Okay, so this is what changed. What changed was these guys went from being critics, or at least one of these guys... The dreaded Richard C. Meyer of diversity in comics. You're not allowed to say his name. I just got blocked. I just got banned from YouTube for uttering his name. So he went from being a critic to a creator, and he had a very, very successful crowdfunding campaign, still running, I think. You know, 10,000 plus copies of a graphic novel, working with a Marvel artist, John Malin, doing very, very well. And then Ethan Van Sciver came in. Van Sciver, of course, was one of DC's top artists. He did a crowdfunding campaign resuscitating one of his 90s indie comics. Again, like over $500,000. So once the money started coming in, and now they're attracting other names, Dave Sim, Doug TenNapel, you know, people are starting to come out of the woodwork and go like, you know, they're going like, hey, yeah, the mainstream comic book industry isn't the place to be anymore. Let's jump on.
Well, it only is if you're a certain type of person.
If you're a certain
I'm just going to be honest. If you're a certain type of person, you're more than welcome to be there. If you're not that type of person, you're just not welcome to be there. Like, I'm more welcome to be there than you are.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, it's the comic book industry has turned very, very political in a very short period of time. If you're not the right kind of person, you will not get a job in comics. It's just the way it is. If you're not part of the club, you will not get a job in comics. This is why we don't do a lot of...
if you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's known as Comicsgate, you will not get a job in comics because they flat out said, if you're anywhere connected tangentially...
Yes,
that sounds like another word. Yeah. If you're any way connected to anybody who might be connected, who possibly is connected, you are not allowed to be in comics.
Yeah, pretty much. And
I'm just like, oh damn, because I wasn't wanting to be in comics anyway. So
yeah, we pretty much and we saw this
from Marvel and DC. Oh shit, there goes my plans.
Gives a shit. But it's extended beyond Marvel and DC. It's the indie publishers, IDW. It's the mainstream publishing, the Scholastics and the First Seconds. Basically, the comic book hive mind, which we've seen behind the scenes.
Yes.
It really
we
is.
We couldn't get in then either before this.
Well,
happened.
we kind of were in until we opened our mouths. And
I think we had open door to editors. I don't think we have that anymore.
We do not have those anymore.
I keep saying we should start our own publishing company. But
that's a whole other thing. So anyway, so the long and short being is the comic book industry is burning itself to the ground because they're only letting certain types of people in. A lot of the people they're laying into comics do not play well with customers. They don't seem to even like the industry very much. They constantly berate and insult customers on social media.
My thing is, okay, here's my thing. If you're going to hire someone to work on a comic and it's a well-known character, I don't care what the character is, even any kind of IP property. If you hire someone to work on that, they're supposed to be in there working on that property. The property is supposed to be about that character, whatever. The character has a certain set, guidelines of what they are, who they are. What I think people are getting upset about is people coming into it, not because they might be, whatever the race, sex, gender, whatever. I think what people are mad about is because they're coming in and they're using it as a platform to make it about their politics, and they're changing characters to make it about their politics. And that's dangerous for a couple of reasons. Because one, as soon as you get another team on there, this character is going to be, you kind of just like, now it's going to change again, which I guess it doesn't really matter since they constantly reboot stuff. But you know what I'm saying? It's like characters need to, when you're hired to do a job, if I'm hired to write any kind of character, I'm going to write that character, not write the character as if it was my, well, I think this character should be this, 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 and this. You know what I'm saying? And that's where people have a problem. It seems to me, looking at it from the outside, because I'm not really in it.
Yeah, it's and again, this is just sort of like the bigger issue here. Again, this goes beyond just mainstream comics or whatever. Oh, have you seen David? Yeah, you not have to do it. Have you seen the latest Joe Quesada? Yeah, I was going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about that. And again, we're trying to talk about this from a slightly different point of view. Not because, again, we don't consider ourselves Comicsgate. We did work in comics. We have friends on both sides. Had more friends on one side than we do now, but we've got friends kind of on both sides. And I think this is going to morph into a bigger issue than just a political issue. I think we're seeing a major disruption in the comic book industry. And I think you're going to see a lot more people doing independent comics because of this. And really because of, meltdowns like Joe Quesada's, I think is going to drive more and more people, to do their own comics. Because I think it's becoming less and less viable to actually do mainstream comics, especially with the age rates being garbage.
I was just going to say, I think I'm so tired. We see this with the She-Ra thing and everything else too. I'm so tired of the go-to being immediately, if you don't 100% agree with us, we don't have to listen to your point. We can automatically write your point off as misogyny, racism, transphobia, or whatever. Even if it has absolutely nothing to do with why you don't like it. I didn't like it because I don't like the voice. I didn't like it because I think that it's weird that this character is now this way when they've been this way for years. That doesn't automatically make you these things. I don't like it because I thought your attitude was shit when you were saying things on Twitter that you shouldn't have said. Yeah. It doesn't automatically, I think what you said was out of line. Like, there's a lot of things that DNC says I don't agree with. Like, there's been times I was like, what the hell, that's going too far. But there's a lot of things on the other side I'm seeing that I don't agree with. Like blaming everybody, for calling everybody a misogynist and racist because they don't agree with you on the smallest of points is absolute bullshit.
And what's going on is a lot of this is being based on the actions of one person. I mean, you can't... They don't even look at the argument. They just automatically scream misogyny and block. And this is the thing that blows my mind. Like,
I showed them.
Like, look, guys, there's a lot of money being thrown at these Comicsgate guys. Maybe there's actually something going on here. If you can, look at, there are legitimate customer complaints. Okay, obviously, if these comics aren't selling as well as they used to, but people are flocking to support these other creators, these independent creators, you're missing something. Clearly, you're missing something. Okay.
Well, if you're working at McDonald's, for example, and you've always made, like, let's say, always made the burger it's been a certain way forever. There's a guideline. It's the burger. Okay. And then you hire somebody who is like, I don't know, let's just say that, I don't know, they're different in some way. They're, some minority of some kind. And then they change the burger to be more like what they like. Well,
they're vegetarians and they're going to make vegan
There you go.
burgers.
Well, it's a vegan burger.
Everybody has to have vegan burgers.
Everybody has to have a vegan burger because they want the vegan burger.
Right.
Now, what's going to happen is people are going to pull up and they're going to order their burgers. And then they're going to be like, come back. Like, I didn't like this. What is this? This isn't a burger. Well, it's made the same way. Well, no, the patty's different. Nuh-uh, it's the same way. but this is vegan. Well, you all should be vegans. And if you don't like it, you're just, you know, this is and that is and every other is under the sun because you don't like what I'm doing and you're clearly against me personally.
Stinky meat eaters. Well, no, they like, literally, the thing is have you ever gotten into an argument with some vegans?
But I'm just saying, it's the same, like but I'm just saying. So then, and what would McDonald's do? They would fire their ass. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, so this is basically, okay, so what's going on is you've got Joe Quesada, and I'm going back to David's point. Joe Quesada flipped out on Comicsgaters. Here's the thing. If Comicsgate wasn't that big of a deal, if it was just a handful of people doing indie comics, Joe Quesada would not come out of his tower to chastise.
That's it. There has to be more to it or they wouldn't step out.
There's some... Now, here's the thing, too. The end of the month is actually Disney's end of fiscal year.
Hence all the sales,
hence all sales. The, you know, and I
isn't there a rumor going around? Oh, that was at DC. The rumor going around that no, it was a Marvel DC. The rumor going around all the books are being shipped way more than people ordered.
Somebody said that somebody was saying Iceman was like double shipped or something.
And that it was to a lot of retailers, and they're like, is that to try to artificially boost the numbers?
Well, Marvel's been known to do that because I think Marvel at the end of it has to answer to Disney. Disney expects year-over-year growth, and if they're not seeing it, Disney will have no problem cutting business divisions.
Well, they these people keep arguing with me, telling me that would not happen, and I'm like,
yet they're jobbing out some of their books to IDW.
Quesada knows this because he was working on the Disney Infinity Marvel figures and stuff, and he was over there making a big deal about it. And they were selling, and they still cut them because they weren't profitable enough. So he knows that they'll cut it.
Disney will cut things. So anyway, yeah, Marvel's freaking out. They're very nervous, and I think I think the politics are sort of a cover for a bigger issue, which they cannot understand why so many consumers are backing and buying these independent books over their books. Because I think they're starting to realize, like, wow, that was $1 million.
Well, it has to be bad enough for him to come down and say something.
For Joe Quesada to come off the mountain and say something, you know, it's pretty bad. Because I think at this point, they're like, oh my God, you know, this is serious. This is serious.
Story, which I didn't actually read. Well, first thing I said to you was, who is the author?
Here's the author of the story. This is
an
opinion piece. J.A. Micheline, and we found her on womenwriteaboutcomics.com. Jam's been reading comics since she was 8. As a critic, she focuses on race and gender issues. She also writes prose fiction, comics, and the occasional angry tweet.
So she likes to anger. She goes and attacks people.
She basically likes to stir the pot. Angry tweet before bedtime.
You don't say she likes to stir the pot. I would never have guessed that from this article.
So this person basically says she likes to stir it up, and she's all about race and gender issues. Which the article, if you read it, and I will, and I love how even
I didn't read it.
Poison.
I really don't care.
I love this URL too. Poison. Comicsgate, racism, misogyny, take a stand. That's not the headline. So I have to wonder if this is the original headline.
You know what? Here's the thing. I am against racism, misogyny, and all that. They keep lumping me in and saying I'm this bad thing. Neon will test. If someone is being harassed for any of those reasons, who's the first person in there to kick ass and say stop behaving that way?
You are.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've gotten internet fights because I thought, someone was being treated, because of their race or gender or sexual orientation. I'm like the first person to defend them. I have like a zero harassment policy myself. The only person I ever complained about was Noah Stevenson. That's because she was harassing people on Twitter.
This article is just so, it's not just this article. It is that this is like the 10th article in 2 weeks that are squeaking into mainstream media. And I think a lot of mainstream media outlets anymore will take any content they can get because these content creators work for free or for cheap. I mean, even AOL. That's true. AOL at one point was only paying like $15 an article.
Right.
For AOL. Yahoo. I think Yahoo was paying like $15 an article. So these people don't get paid much, but it's a huge platform. And I think they're sort of out there, and there's a handful of bloggers that are like, yes, we're going to put up the blogger activists.
Well, first you have to understand, most people don't give a shit.
No.
Two, The Guardian, I think I've actually gone there before and it's been like scammy. I think I've had it could be wrong, but I could have swore stuff popped up on my computer before from going there. So I kind of don't ever usually read The Guardian.
Right.
And I always see it's kind of inquiry type stuff and clickbait bullshit.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Okay. Dynamo, if you read the 3-day Jose Quesada freak out, I didn't actually. We're very busy. Joe knew a whole bunch about minor comic scares, including Yellow Flash. There goes a truck. We're doing it live. Can't try. Yeah. I don't know about that. I did see some tweets that Yellow Flash was under attack by Joe Quesada, which is weird, because Joe Quesada needs to be, dealing with Marvel Comics day-to-day operations. He's been watching DNC videos regularly. Yeah, I'm sure he is, because I mean they have to be sitting here like, why are these people making money and we're not making money? We're losing sales, but they're making, what is it, Punchable Faces, 1.8 million, raised by a handful of creators working from home. Yeah, IDW could use $1.8 million right now. I'll be furious if Marvel and these bullies threaten Indiegogo to stop allowing EBS John Malin.
Give him time.
The Bright Wisers.
They already took over Kickstarter.
Yeah, this is okay. Oh, what was that? Air servers running as hot rod. Why is my thing running? Okay. Anyway, yeah. Here's the thing.
He named his computers after Transformers. Anyway,
why is my computer doing weird stuff?
I don't know. You made the gods mad.
I did. I'll be furious if Marvel and any of the bullies threaten Indiegogo to stop EBS. This could possibly happen. And we talked about this in another video where it's basically there's disruption going on right now in the comic book industry, and they're trying everything they can try to shut down these guys.
Where are you seeing on Kickstarter? There's already
Kickstarter hired someone a few months ago to be their comics liaison, comics editor person, vetter, and she has basically come out and said that she really only wants like woke projects on comics Kickstarter. So it's very possible that Indiegogo might go down that route too, and I don't know what happens at that point. I'm calling now the end of this. You see a lot of CG artists being banned from cons.
Already happening.
It's already happening. It's already happening. So, well, you don't see why they would. Kickstarter is very, very woke right now, and if there's enough pressure put on Indiegogo, they might go down the same. I don't know. I hope that.
I think that's discrimination. And if any other place discriminated against somebody based on anything like that, there'd be whining. It'd be all over the internet. How dare they? They decide to discriminate against these people, and they would be, they're not allowed to do that, but they're allowed to do it if you're, white guys. Just telling you.
Yeah. So anyway, so what is the point of this being? Like, I'm not going to say, look, the point of this, from a marketing, a PR perspective, is the comic book industry is shitting its pants. Like they would not freak out. And this is part of it. And I just love this, right? I mean, I won't go into the article. I posted a link in the comments. Unless comics creators adopt a zero tolerance approach to racism and misogyny, this abuse of power by fans will never end. By fans and
So unless you block everybody who might potentially, maybe possibly know somebody who they might possibly maybe be a misogynist or racist, maybe possibly, then something's going to end. But then you're blocking everybody who buy your books, and they're like, why do we have no money? And it's like, look, if you're being harassed by somebody, by all means block them. I'm 100% for blocking people who are legitimately harassing you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I believe that people are being harassed? Yes, I totally believe that people are being harassed on both sides. And I'm tired of seeing too, well, they're harassed. They can't do that because they harassed us first. And it's like, but you're harassing people too. And I'm sorry, being a bullying asshole to somebody else does not, negate your being a bullying asshole. You know what I mean? You're both being bullying assholes.
Yeah.
Knock it off. I mean, it's like, stop being a bullying asshole. I mean, it's not hard.
What's so funny about this is, Dynamo mentions Steve Jeppe. Steve Jeppe is a Republican, and so is Ike Perlmutter, who actually is Joe Quesada's boss. Ike Perlmutter is such a Republican. He's actually like best friends with Donald Trump, and I believe Donald Trump signed laws with Ike Perlmutter's pen. I don't think Ike Perlmutter pays a lot of attention to what's going on in comics because he's focused on TV.
Yeah, I think he's
TV. It's really interesting that actually, so I don't know how far any of this is going to go, if it is a political thing, but I think it's more than that. And this right here, though, this is the attitude that gets me. Until they and other industry personnel take a zero tolerance approach to abuses of power from within their own houses. Who? Everybody whose dissenters are excommunicated from comics.
I'm seeing abuse of power, but it's not in the way they're spinning it. Like, there is definitely abuse of power, but not in the way that they keep spinning that it is. Just from watching it from the middle ground, I'm like, what? Because it's like, I've seen a lot of shit go down that I was like, wow, that's not okay. But, because it was in-house and it was on their side, they failed to mention that.
So, Comicsgate will never truly die. Brexit and Trump are no different. The passivity of well-meaning white Britons and white Americans with regards to racism and sexism and xenophobia in their everyday lives indicate a less savory segment of the population that their aggression would go unchecked. This person is an activist, not...
But here's the thing. People who aren't even doing these things are getting accused of doing these things simply because they know somebody who that says they're Comicsgate. Whether or not they personally have done anything, whether they personally have done anything wrong, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, you're labeled a harasser even if you've done nothing. And, you know, and this is bullshit. The racism, xenophobia, you're perpetuating yourself. I mean, by your behavior.
Yeah, so what's going on here? We'll talk, okay, where this dovetails with this other is with Peter Simeti, who we've talked about Peter Simeti and Alterna Comics. And I think he's going to be doing a live stream later, so we'll make sure we'll get wrapped up before he does his. I think he's doing it at 9:30.
9:30, yeah.
So Alterna Comics was basically attacked by Comic Book Resources because one of their freelance letterers said that they were wrongfully terminated by being part of the Blockbot.
I mean the list that don't actually
list that doesn't actually exist,
but it does exist, but it doesn't exist. Yeah.
So they issued this statement from Peter. Didn't say that they were wrong in publishing what they published. I believe there's some legal something going on. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on.
But so they did issue a statement by Peter Simeti, and it basically says, our social media policy strives to create a welcoming environment for both our readers and creators. Social media is a powerful tool for promotion, outreach, and that's exactly how I encourage our creators to use it. Our policy allows creators to block or mute individually, but not indiscriminately.
Basically, if you're harassed, you can block that person,
right?
But don't block them.
Which is a good policy.
So you don't even know.
I think that's a reasonable policy. If someone is actually harassing you on Twitter and they're annoying and you'd rather just shut them down, that's fantastic. Shut them down. Like, you are blocked. You mouthed off to me, you're blocked. But what you're doing is you're blocking people who are like friends of a friend of a friend.
Who didn't do anything.
And like someone in the comments said,
we've never harassed anyone.
No, we've never harassed anyone. So this is just absolutely ridiculous. Alterna Comics was basically on the receiving end of the anti-Comicsgate crusade on Twitter. And Alterna, which is a neutral publisher, they've never said that they were part of Comicsgate.
They're even making sure they don't want to know who you are when you submit things because they don't want to be accused of picking somebody based on gender or race, anything like that. So
Alterna was attacked because they got cornered by some people on Twitter. I think Jennifer de Guzman was the head of the lynch mob there, trying to corner Alterna and be like, well, since you retweeted some tweets by people using that hashtag, then you must be Comicsgate. You must support Comicsgate. You must support racism. Are you a Comicsgate or aren't you? As they're sharpening the pitchforks and getting the ropes ready.
I literally go on Twitter, and if I see something that I think is really funny or cool, or they have a piece of art that's really awesome, I'll retweet it. I don't sit there and think, geez, I better go check their profile and find out if they're Comicsgate or they're not. I better go look into them and see exactly what they stand for, exactly who they are. I better make sure they're not this, that, or anything else because I don't give a shit. It was a cool statement. It was a cool piece of art. I'm going to retweet it because it was awesome and it deserves to be retweeted. And I don't harass anybody or like block anybody based on that kind of shit, so I just do it. And they're basically saying that you should go and actually vet every single person.
Yeah, that was what they're saying.
I'm like, no one has fucking time for that.
They were like, well, what if you retweeted somebody that had a swastika as their avatar? Well, I'm like, in that case,
yeah, well, that's clear.
That's a little clear. If somebody's like, hey, I liked your book. Look, I just bought $400 worth of your comics, and hashtag. Nobody's going to do that. I see people all the
time who have symbols and stuff next to their name, and I know what they mean. I don't care because I don't judge people based on that. It was a really cool piece of art. I thought you did a great job. I'm going to share it. Hey, your cosplay was fantastic, and I think it's amazing. I'm going to share that because you deserve it because it was really good. I don't sit there and be like, wow, golly gee, you don't agree with everything I agree with 100%. So I must not only must I not share you, I have to block you now because,
yeah,
I don't know you, but, clearly you don't agree with me on everything.
Yeah, Twitter is a mistake. Twitter is terrible. This is why I'm trying to, back off of Twitter. Anyway, so he was mobbed on Twitter. Yeah,
exactly.
People not actually working have time for that. Yeah, they do.
Exactly.
What are you doing? Are you making comics? Because you spend a hell of a lot of time on Twitter trying to micromanage other people's business. Like, what the hell who appointed you as the Spanish Inquisition?
Like, I'm on there just sharing things I think are cool and funny. They have a cute dog, and I'm like, oh, your puppy's so cute, I'm going to share it. I'm not sitting there using it as a basis to determine who I must block and who I must not block, or how I'm going to judge you based on the person you are because of who you're friends with. I'm like, God, that's stupid.
So just to recap, so Alterna, yeah, they're fighting back, which is good. And here's the thing, like all the comic book industry is doing by freaking out on dissent is making things like this happen. Look, Alterna sold 18,000 comics in 2 weeks because everybody came out to support Alterna because they seem to be one of the few sane publishers left in the comic book industry. That's 18,000 books that IDW didn't sell. That's 18,000 books that Marvel didn't sell.
A lot of this stuff could have been resolved way back when people said stupid, shitty things, they just said, you know what? I shouldn't have said that. I was having a bad day. It was a stupid, shitty thing to say, and I'm sorry. And you know what? A lot of this stuff could have been completely avoided.
Yeah.
If people had just been admitted, hey, I said that, and I probably shouldn't have said that. And, you have to, and I'm sorry, you have to understand that as a person like this, I deal with harassment all the time, and I shouldn't have reacted because not everybody's like that, and I understand that. That's all I had to do was say, I'm sorry for, making such a generalization. That's it. That's all they had to say.
They won't walk it back. And the fact that Joe Quesada is getting involved now tells me that the freaking out behind the scenes is a hell of a lot worse than they're letting on in public. I mean, that they're freaking out the top like that. Joe Quesada should be above this. He should be completely above this and detached from this, but that he feels like he has to stalk these people on YouTube and he has to stalk these individual creators.
I think he's worried more about getting the sales up than stalking people on the internet. I'm just like,
the optics from the sidelines, the optics of Joe Quesada wasting all of that time trying to smack down these handful of critics, handful of indie creators. Those are bad. The optics are very, very bad. It looks very bad for Marvel.
People hate on me all the time on my videos about She-Ra and stuff. And you know what? Sometimes I answer them, but usually I don't. I'm usually like, and if I do answer, I'm usually really nice about it. But it's like, there's no point because it doesn't matter what I say. They're not going to agree with me, and it's okay to disagree with me. They're allowed to like it. I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is where I will say they're allowed to like it. I'm not calling them names for liking it. They'll try to call me names for not liking it. And if you're not allowed to have a difference of opinion. If you think differently than somebody else, automatically you're like the devil's evil pimple something. I don't know. Whatever you can think of as nasty and gross, that's what you are.
Yeah, it's okay. So you're the devil's pimple.
We're trying to make good books.
Okay.
Things that you only hear on this channel. You're the devil's pimple. The
devil's pimple. Jamie Tron, this is a good point. This is an exciting time for new creators and neutral indie. Let's go back up here real quick.
Unicorns, but it wasn't on purpose.
And neutral indie comics has been a long time since comics excited me. Same here. Especially after Marvel nearly killed my love the last couple of years. The comic book industry has been in the shitter for a couple of years now. And it's behind the scenes is worse. I mean, it's very cliquish and very backstabbing and bitter, and there's just a lot of really unhappy people. And I think it comes down to financials, some of it.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. But, this feels like the early 80s again when people were, Ninja Turtles came out. Dave Sim was doing books, Love and Rockets, and all these like indie creators were doing new things. Because they had a new medium to work with or a new distribution channel to work with.
All I have to do is make good books. If only everybody just made good books, that would be great.
Yeah, the problem is the big boys. Mark Waid has tried to kill Toon. Mark Waid. I'm disappointed. We know Mark. I'm disappointed. Mark, I'm disappointed. So he's probably disappointed in us too.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
I don't. But yeah. But anyway, so Peter Samedi, he did last week. He did a live stream, 3 hours. Poured his heart out, and there were still people on Twitter today saying, well, it sucks if people are suicidal, but maybe if they're suicidal, they'll empathize with the rest of us who were suicidal too, or some bullshit like that. Yeah,
basically like, maybe if they know what it's like to be harassed and suicidal, then they'll understand. And I thought they would have been nicer now they understand how we feel. And I'm like, but we're in the middle of watching this, and I gotta tell you, there is harassment, for all the harassment they're claiming they're getting, they're doing the exact same thing. And I'm sorry, but bullying and harassing, and while you're screaming about bullying and harassing, kind of just like takes your point and throws it out the window.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like let people walk all over you. I'm not saying that, but you can, defend yourself without being a complete dillweed bully Satan's zit too. You know what I'm saying? It's
the devil's pimple. Oh, Splotchy Ink. Oh, this is some good news. I want to thank you guys. Oh, I only write and put up one of my comics prompts, and artists like it so much they're going out of their way to draw for me as a collaboration.
Oh, that's cool.
That's very good news.
That's really good.
Awesome.
Oh, awesome. Well, go you. That's awesome. Go create the things.
I think going forward, like I would like our channel to be more about like actually making your own stuff.
That's what we want to do.
That's where we want to go. Like we're trying to get past, like, I mean, everybody's like, oh my God, you're jumping on the hate wagon. No, we're not.
We're like, we want the hate wagon to stop.
We want the hate wagon to stop.
Make things that are decent, and that everybody, you know, that people that want to do new things can do new things, and it's okay. You know what I mean?
Right. So we witnessed the same Mark Wade tantrums. Actually, our interactions with Mark were always positive.
No, he was very nice.
That's why
I'm said I was a good writer.
Yeah,
I was happy at the time. He was very nice to us, and he said, you know, said I was good, and I was like,
I mean, I don't have any negative.
Comic writer.
I'm just disappointed in the fact that he would take it upon himself to try to stop someone from bringing a book to market by threatening a publisher who really had nothing to do with this.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
If
that's what
true.
happened, that's what, you know, we've heard. I don't know, but if that is the case, I'm really severely disappointed.
I'm like, my thing is this: if you're so sure you're right, you don't behave in a way that makes you look wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I'm so sure that I am in the right, I'm not going to lower myself to do something shitty and underhanded. Because, you know, to just further my...
That's it. Because they're not right. They're not right. They're using... I mean, this is my personal opinion. They're using the politics as a smokescreen to cover up for the fact that they're scared shitless that some indie creators can break away and sell comics in a market where comics cannot be sold. Because they've made it that way. They've run comics in the ground.
The irony in this, I feel the irony in this is... that these people are the ones who are all jumping onto webcomics now. All these people are the ones who are trying to jump for webcomics now because there's money there. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? They're like running things into the ground, but then they want to jump onto things that they've run into the ground prior.
Yeah, so we have a lot of like people from Marvel that are jumping ship and going to webtoons now. The same group of people that kind of ran Marvel into the ground.
The thing is, I'll be honest, things like webcomics and webtoons are much more accepting of differences and different types of stories and, you know, that kind of stuff than people that are in the mainstream, because characters have been set for decades, and, you know, you're changing characters and huge parts of characters, and it upsets people. It would. That'd be like if I took, you know, a beloved, like, you know, Mickey Mouse, and suddenly he's, you know, completely different than he is. People are going to get jacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's the way it is.
I know. There's money in webcomics. Webtoons actually pays stipends to their regulars.
To most of the Marvel people that jumped
the Marvel people, yeah. So there's like thousands of dollars, or many thousands of dollars actually going out every month to paid creators. And what's going on is that they have Marvel's former digital editor running webtoons now, and he's bringing in Marvel people.
All his friends.
And
they started hiding numbers so you don't see
how many hits they actually get. Right? So So they're paying these people the money that you know, and it used to be that webtoons you would work your way up and you got paid. Now they're just hiring Marvel people.
Oh, where's I looking at? Wait, where's one I was thinking? Oh yeah, here. Yeah, that's about right.
You only make money if you're in Korea for webtoons. It's not
pretty much.
No, it's not. I think webtoons is a shell game. Comicsgate is a monster. Yes, thank you. Comicsgate is a monster of Marvel's own creation. It's not just Marvel. It's IDW too. I think DC's been kind of on the sidelines.
But DC's doing something now.
Starting to get, yeah.
Well, they're gonna put their stuff.
Okay, we'll talk about that. But yeah, here's the thing: if they had stopped trying to smack down any dissent,
they just ignored it and kept going.
It would have just been, yeah, it wouldn't have blown up. But the thing is they kept throwing kerosene on the bonfire.
Actually, no, I'm not going to say they ignored it.
Again.
If they would have stepped in and said, "Hey, you can't," these comments, I understand where you're coming from. I understand you had a bad day. But you can't say these bullshit things on Twitter because you're just like, you know, saying things that are really upsetting people. You know, maybe you should keep that to your personal account, which apparently you're not allowed to do. I think this could have been avoided if they could have said, you know what, I had a bad day, something happened today, and I should never have said that. I apologize for that. I understand. It might have been misconstrued as being, you know, but I was being really attacked by this person, that person, and Dan, I shouldn't have said it. That could have avoided this whole damn thing. But that's logic and manners, and, you know.
Yeah, but they couldn't stand it. They couldn't stand it. So DC was on silence. Yeah,
the racism thing is bullshit. I agree. Yeah.
It is exactly as
It's like they're saying, it's like for She-Ra. The narrative they keep promoting is that it's all misogyny and men who are mad because she's not, her boobies aren't hanging out. And one, He-Man was dressed way less than She-Ra was. And two, most of the people who hate it are women. But they won't cover that because that goes against what they're the whole blame it on men. Blame it on men. It's always men's fault.
So here, this is coming from Comicsgate. That DC is announcing 3 more Walmart comics and the existence of a 4th title. This is cool. I've still never seen the Walmart comics in the wild. I've been looking for them. I can't find them. I don't know where they're shipping them, but I don't see them at our local Walmarts. But they announced it in the Northwest Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Now, Hi McDonald's says you scoff, but that's local paper, Walmart's corporate HQ. I am wondering if they didn't announce it there and not through the comic book media because the retailers are going to have a conniption fit. I really do. I think the retailers are going to freak out because I think DC's building a life raft. I think they know the direct market is going to crash and they are building a life raft, getting more and more of their comics into Walmart. Yeah,
because they're like, well, if the comic shop's closed, we still are out there, which, I can't, fault them for this.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So I just want to check this out here real quick. Yeah. So this was yesterday. So it took them a day or two for the comics media to actually realize that they were going to do this. I have not seen these anywhere. And look, they have them stuffed.
Oh, I have seen them.
Have you been holding out on me? Where are they?
They're the same aisle that's in. Where I used to get my cool blind bag Disney keychains. It's in that aisle.
Oh, I thought they were in the book aisle.
No. I knew they were there. Sorry.
Damn it, Geeky! I've been looking for these damn comics for like 3 months, and you didn't know where they were hiding.
Unrelated story, but related. That's funny. When I was a kid, I went to Disney World, and we were staying at the villages that aren't there anymore, and Buena Vista Village. And when we got on the bus and we went to the park, I looked and saw what station we were. When we came back, apparently my parents didn't know what number we were. So we get off and end up having to walk back to the place. And we're on our way. And my mom's like, well, if I only known what bus stop we were, I looked at her and told her what it was. And she's like, well, if you knew, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, you never asked me.
Oh my God. So they're in that, that shitty little aisle where there's always people with carts that I can never get to with the blind bags.
Well, they have the Pokemon cards and all that. You can see the Pokemon boxes right there.
Oh my God.
The Pokemon cards are and the little plushies and some of the special edition stuff.
Geeky, you had one job. I have been looking for these books since July.
I didn't know.
I wanted them. I'm like,
sorry. I just realized it when I saw the picture.
Oh my God.
Like I saw them, it didn't register.
Chris W., thank you. You didn't have to do that. Grocery stores, convenience stores, Walmart, etc. are the gateway to comic shops for new readers. Yes, that's where I bought my first comic books.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a negative to have them there. It's not a
negative to have them there, and this is what Alternative's trying to do with Dollar Generals. I understand they want to get into Dollar Generals. I'm going to have to go... Damn it. I've been looking for these books.
You know what? I knew it, and I saw it.
Shit.
And the two never registered in my head.
Christian Rodriguez, what did you miss? Geeky knew where the DC Comics and Walmart were, and I've been going to the magazine aisle looking for them.
No, I knew exactly where they were.
For months. And I'm like, they don't have them. They don't have them. They don't have them. Here they've been sitting in the damn
and you've told me
blind bag
several times you're looking for them, and it never even crossed my mind that they can make the connection. Sorry.
Okay, so when you go when you go to freaking Walmart to get your freaking DC...
It's by the registers.
They're by the register. I don't go down that aisle because I can never get down it at our Walmart. So there's always somebody that has a blocked
I don't go down it very much anymore because I used to love those little Disney blind bag keychains. I love those things. And they stopped carrying them at ours. So I don't go down that aisle anymore.
Oh, the live chat's no longer in the future. Oh no. What did we do? We did something. Okay.
I don't
know. We probably made something.
We're going to have to go somewhere.
Yeah, we're going to have to go. Okay.
What did we do? Where are we looking at this?
Okay, so anyway, but yeah, they announced that they're doing more books. They announced it in some hole in the wall newspaper. They did not make a big announcement on all the comic book sites. So it tells me they're trying to sneak it under the radar because they know the retailers are going to flip out. So Kiki's not going to the doghouse. She's fine. I forgive you. You're just gonna have to go buy me these tomorrow. So anyway, yeah. So DC's, yeah. So they're trying. I think they're trying to sneak this one.
You love me for many other reasons. If I forgot the comic books, you're not gonna get mad. I'm just gonna watch Flippin' Iron Fist with you.
I know that's punishment enough.
Well, the first one was.
Iron Fist
the first one was. But this one I hear is supposed to be better. So
I hope so. Oh, okay. Anime Betrayals. Geeky keeps me on the way from Walmart comics.
I didn't. You know what? I'll go tomorrow. I'll get a picture and I'll post it and be like, here it is. Here he is with the comics. He's hugging them. Look, he's kissing it.
I'm licking Batman right now.
It's all good. It's all good.
I've got my tongue all over Batman.
So anyway, we're going to wrap this up though because we got Iron Fist to watch.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So we were going to talk about Polygon's bullshit article for She-Ra.
Basically, it's just saying the trailer's out. Yeah. We mentioned Noah Stevenson right off because, you know, there is no She-Ra without Noah Stevenson apparently. And it just talked about the trailer.
Second sentence, helmed by Noah Stevenson. The reboot is titled She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. I'm not terribly impressed, but whatever. Yeah, Geeky's not going in the corner.
Nobody puts me in a corner. You're damn right.
Well, yeah, all of our comic shops, local comic shops closed. I have to drive 45 minutes to get to a comic book shop. The Walmart comics, for me, actually, I think would be a really good option. If not, we usually wind up buying trades through like Amazon or Comixology, single issues for Comixology. Stuff like that. It's just the way it is right now. So
but actually, for me,
going to Walmart is smart.
I don't really read comics much unless they're like webcomics and stuff that people I know or I like. Like, I don't really read comics anymore. I just don't. And actually, the comics that I read, you talk about Gateway Comics. You know what got me reading comics, speaking of She-Ra, was the damn little comics that came in the She-Ra dolls. I love those things. Man, that's the only reason I like comics. I'm like, wow, these are great. I like these. And then, you know, I went on to tell my own stories.
Well, no, my first comics were G.I. Joe and Transformers. And because the reason I bought G.I. Joe and Transformers was because they used to have commercials for them. They used to actually have TV commercials, animated TV commercials for them, and they advertised the actual comic books. And so I'm like, yeah, I saw that comic on TV. I'm going to the drugstore, and I'm going to go buy it. And that's what I did. That's what I did.
But if you're getting fed up of like, you know, the mainstream stuff, besides, you know, things like, you know, Alterna or indie publishers and things, definitely check out webcomics because there are a lot of really, really, really good ones out there. There's a lot of shit out there too. But there are a lot of really, really, really good ones out there. And, you know, often they're free. You can buy their books that the creators loved, even if you just, you know, say, hey, I like your stuff and share it with your friends. That's great too. But there's lots of cool stuff out there. And, you know, you can get pretty much everything you want.
Yeah. But yeah. No, I was gonna say, I heard within 5 years, 1,000 comic stores closed down. I can completely believe that. And yeah, hey, we've actually got the He-Man mini comic.
I did. I bought it
it's like 1,000 pages.
Me, the one who's in trouble. Damn it, Geeky. You bought me the book.
She did.
I buy you all the books you want.
I know. We've got it. It's like 1,000 pages. It has like every mini comic in it, and it's freaking awesome.
I like web. I don't get to watch. I actually don't read the Korean webcomics so much as I see the K-dramas based on them. So I really like them.
So the point of this, you know, again being, well, one, we're gonna tell you guys again, we have this. So we're gonna give you this link here. Again, we're gonna do Discord. That's probably the best way to keep in touch with people because I'm terrible at email. But the big point was that, you know, from the sidelines, we're watching mainstream comics freaking eat itself alive because they just cannot stand that there are a handful of people out there making money in comics. Because, God forbid, if they're not making money in comics, nobody should be allowed to make money in comics.
I just found the other day Ben 10 dressed as She-Ra. Look, they do. Confession, last time I read comics,
a lot of people like Homestuck.
That's okay. A lot of people like it.
Cool. That's completely cool.
Was our daughter reading it the other day?
I think she was reading it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's kind of racy in parts.
I know. I was like, why are you letting her read that? Anyway. So yeah.
So anyway, but that's kind of what we wanted to touch base on.
I always buy new books.
And again, this isn't like a hater video. This is actually now I feel bad for the guys that are getting attacked, absolutely, but I think the end result of all of this is we're going to see more indie comics being made, more direct connection with creators, between creators and consumers, and you're going to see more of this kind of stuff. Comics trying to do things outside the box because what they're doing now, what comics is doing now, clearly is not working. That and Joe Quesada is like just flipping the hell out. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign.
Oh, I was going to read something here. Yeah, Derek, I'm burnt out on most comics, so I'm making my own. Go. Yes,
make your own comics.
Make your own. And I will encourage anyone on here, if you want to make your own comics, by all means, definitely do it. I mean, I don't know why people get so discouraged and they're afraid to try. I look at it this way. You're going to fail if you don't try. Mm-hmm. For sure. You're not going to get nowhere, and you're going to regret it forever. Like 20 years later, I should have done that when I could have.
Do it.
Just do it.
And if it sucks,
just do it.
Do another one, you know, do it. Not Long Tall Dragon Prince premieres. Yeah, it's in like 3 days.
Yes, 3 days.
So we're definitely going to watch that. We might not be able to binge it because we have a show we're going to this weekend. So not a comic book show. Totally different thing.
We're probably banned from comic book shows.
Yeah, I think we're banned forever. We used to be guests. They used to like us. They used to give us free food. It was great. And great. Hotel rooms. It was nice. I think it's not that but they wanted to use Nobody's Buying Comics excuse for the poor earnings. Yeah, this is going to be really hard for Joe Quesada and friends to go to Disney and say, hey guys, just the comic market's down. It's just nobody's buying comic books anymore. And then Disney's like, hey guys, these like 5 people made like $2 million. Like, what the hell's going on? Why can't you guys make $2 million when you've got, a staff and like tons of people working on these books?
Hold on. Oh, the Clip Studio. Yes, there is a sale on Clip Studio right now. I saw it the other day. We already have it, but there is a sale on Clip Studio. I did see it the other day. I've not drawn in 20 years, but I'll take your price. Yeah, you know what?
Do it.
Here's the thing. I don't draw very often either. I very rarely draw. I actually do more 3-dimensional things. But like, you're not going to get better not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what our daughter did. She was pretty good for her age, but she actually went and watched some tutorial videos on YouTube, and her drawing just overnight. Yeah. I mean, I'm an art teacher, so I'm qualified to judge these things, and as Neon will attest, I will tell you the truth. He used to get so pissed at me because he draws something, I'd be like, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. And he'd get mad, and then he'd send it to the editor, and the editor would say the same thing I did, and I'd be like, told you.
Doesn't look right because Geeky knows everything.
I do.
Actually,
looked at my personality type.
Shows everything except where the comics are.
And I am, they looked at my personality type, and they said, this personality type, it always thinks they're right, but they usually are. Anyway, that's unrelated. But I'm just saying, just go draw. You can't get better if you don't try.
You can do it. Actually, Marvel made $4 billion. Okay, here's the thing I want to clarify, because we've talked about this before. Marvel Comics and Marvel Studios are 2 totally different companies. What Marvel Comics does has 0 impact on Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios is a division of Walt Disney Pictures. They're a totally different business. They have totally different management. Marvel Comics is part of Marvel Entertainment, which Perlmutter's in charge of, and I think it's just the television and the comics are under one banner, and the movies, the stuff that matters to Disney, the movies, they answer directly to the Walt Disney Company. That's why you don't see as many shenanigans with the MCU as you do with Marvel Comics. I think Marvel Comics just gets away with whatever the hell they want to do.
I don't think Disney's paying as much attention to them.
They're not paying attention to them.
Because it's not as important to them, to be completely honest with you. I don't think it is. But yeah, back to what people are saying. It doesn't matter if you've been drawing a long time. You have to start somewhere.
Marvel Comics made $2.
Yes. Well, I'm saying you have to start somewhere. And if you haven't drawn in for a long time, just pick up the pencil and start. And if you don't feel comfortable drawing, find somebody that you can collaborate with, or maybe you'd rather write your book as a prose story or something like that. Do a short story, or do a short comic first, like a short 50-page comic or something. And 25-page comic, or put it up, and then go from there, because you're only gonna get better if you practice every day. You're gonna get better. Yeah, that's just the way it is. You're gonna get better.
Yeah. So I think what's gonna happen to comics in the future is you're gonna see more indie comics. And you guys are gonna be the ones that make them. I think you guys are gonna be the ones that make them.
If you don't see what you want, make what you want. And then something you said about you're interested in writing. That's what I do. I have actually 3 different projects I'm working on writing right now, and they're prose. They're not even going to be comics. So
nope.
And I would be the first one to admit I am not a fantastic writer. I'm really good at actually telling a story and weaving a story, but as far as the grammatic area of it, I suck. And I'll be the first person to tell you.
You suck at the grammatic area of it?
Yeah, the grammatic area of it. Do you see what I'm talking about? I suck.
That's okay.
And that's why Neon was an editor, so he fixes it. Or my sister's really good at that, and she fixes it. Because where I can tell a good story, I'm not good at the grammar part. I admit it.
So we're gonna give you guys, if you guys haven't gotten it already, we're gonna give you a link. We're set up a Discord. We're going to try to keep in touch with people through the Discord, because I'm not saying I am terrible at getting back to people via email. Hopefully how to balance practice drawing and doing other things like reading a book, watching videos, or anything.
Well, I do things as I watch videos, but that's just me.
No.
I sew and I make 3-dimensional things, and I'll do it while I watch videos.
We are going to, we're still going to talk about pop culture stuff. We're still going to talk about, we'll do She-Ra videos, or we'll do animation reviews, or whatever we want to do. But I think in the future we're going to do more videos about like actually like how to do stuff.
And I don't have
useful
an exact answer to you on how to balance. It's because it's up to what your schedule is. Like when we used to do our comic, we used to do 3 pages a week. Full color, and those pages were like 16 hours each.
Yes,
and you worked a full-time job.
Yeah, I worked as a marketing manager. And
so basically, the answer was we didn't do anything else fun. Like you don't even watch TV anymore. Watching Iron Fist was a treat because we don't.
Oh God, we probably could pick the better treat.
We don't watch TV. I only watch it when I'm working. So unless it's something I have to read subtitles on, then I can't do anything but read subtitles.
So something I want to point out here, for those of you who want to do, because we actually had people write us and be like, I want to connect with other artists, I want to connect with other writers. I actually set up one of the channels here. I have it called Art Connect. I don't know what else to call it, but I figured if you guys want to talk amongst yourselves and maybe you can find like teams of people to work with, feel free to use that. This as, oh look, there's people in here. Okay, cool. Feel free to use this to connect with people. Now, we don't take responsibility if like the deal goes bad, but if you want to try to connect with some other creators, you know, find a writer, find an artist, whatever, you know, please use this.
I'm sorry, I think it's funny. The answer is not to sleep. You know, I've actually thought about that. I'm like, how can I not sleep to get more stuff done? Jessica Jones season 2, I've seen it. It's actually pretty good. And Jessica Jones is my Iron Fist season 1 was my least favorite. I think Jessica Jones is my, I don't know. I like it, but I don't like it. I don't know. I
watched like 2 episodes of Luke Cage and I got bored. I don't watch any of Jessica Jones. So, yeah, voiceover actors, anybody that wants to collaborate.
Yes, we might actually be needing some voiceover actors.
Yeah, and I do have an email from someone, and I do apologize for that. But, hi. Oh, hey. Look. Hello.
Well, we're going to have to go.
Yeah, I know. We need to go. We're not going to watch
half an hour. That was blah, 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 half an hour ago.
Okay.
I can't speak.
So, yeah, we're going to see what happens with the Discord. We had requests for it, and we'd like to actually do something that kind of helps other people make stuff, too.
That's what we want to do, too, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a long-term goal.
Well, somebody asked about page layouts. We can talk about that.
We can talk
about that, too.
We can talk about that.
Okay, guys. We
are going to go.
Yes. So we have to go.
Definitely appreciate you guys coming in for live streams. We have over 200 people on. We don't announce them because we never know when we're going to have time. So
we never know when someone's going to make me mad and I want to be like,
yeah,
that's it.
But I felt we had to talk about this because, again, going back to our other videos, that there's definitely an attack on this disruption. You're going to see more and more of this, and I feel bad for all these folks that are kind of caught up in the middle of it. Yeah, Alternative's gonna be on pretty soon. Go watch Peter's video. Support Peter. Support Alterna Comics. Definitely. And thank you so much for the live or for the super chats. You guys don't have to do that, but we appreciate it. And
I know we mean we're supposed to go and we don't. I agree with you.
Okay, and we're gonna go.
Keep telling him we gotta go.
We're gonna go. We're going right now. Right now.